My name is Uzo. I am a lawyer. I work with the British Red Cross, and I'm also a co-founder of Nuclear Eureka, which is an organization that's set to increase Africans' participation in conversations around disarmament. The key point in my presentation was basically to draw attention to the need for disarmament. When explaining a concept to a person, it's important to give them some background to understand properly why it's important, which is what I try to do, showing the links between the presence of arms and conflict. It's a direct link and shows how the transfer of arms also transfers conflict from one region to another, ultimately showing why it is important to take away those arms, which tends to shorten a conflict and possibly even bring it to an end. So I also try to show them the difference, the complexities that are involved in disarmament. There are different types of arms. There's the conventional arms, nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, biological weapons, cluster munitions, explosive weapons and all of that. So I just, try to simplify it as much as possible because our audience was quite young, which, meant that we had to simplify many of these complex terminologies, issues, and ideas. I had quite a significant amount of interaction with, my colleagues who were speakers and some of the attendees. And it was instructive for me because I, first of all, learned a lot about Morocco because I haven't been to Morocco before. And as a West African, quite frankly, I do not have much interaction with North Africans. So being surrounded by Northern Africans and, learning about the cultures, their historical complexities, sociocultural issues, it broadens my knowledge. So I came here to impart knowledge, but I've also gained as well. And I think that, for me, it's a win. Model UN it's a very fantastic initiative because growing up for me personally, I never got the opportunity to attend any of these Model UN events. I knew about them, I hoped to and aspired to, but I just couldn't. As a young boy, I always aspired towards, working in international development and diplomacy. I studied law in school, which is one of the career pathways into, diplomacy. Fortunately for me, I was able to break into diplomatic circles, attending international conferences and meeting other diplomats and advocating internationally, and I consider myself fortunate. But the pathway I took could have been simpler if I had, as a younger person, attended many of these international Model UN conferences because it would have exposed me to a class of people who are like-minded, who think international politics, international development, and international issues and affairs. Your circle influences your thought process, influences your life in more ways than one. So I definitely think it's a good initiative, and the participants can benefit a lot if they take advantage of the opportunity that they've been presented with. It's important to capitalize on whatever they have gained here because you learn a lot from coming here, and you also meet people who are heading in the same direction. So you can share learnings, they can also share opportunities, and access to opportunity is one of the most important things for a young, aspiring diplomat. You have to capitalize on all of these opportunities, and Model UN gives you that access. And I think in that regard, Model UN, especially the AZOR one, which is currently ongoing, is successful in that. Last words for the team. Well done. It's never easy hosting these international conferences and events. Bringing people from different parts of the world, it's never an easy thing, and it's gone on smoothly, gone on well to a very large extent. And for the participants, I would definitely encourage that they remain steadfast because consistency is the most important thing for someone who has a set target. Without a dream, you don't start, but without consistency and commitment, you will never finish. So it's very important that they remain steadfast, they continue to create these pathways for themselves. And no matter how difficult it is, you always stay the course, because you can, as young people, we all apply for these opportunities, and sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't get them, but you shouldn't lose hope or lose faith because you don't get some opportunities, because if you keep knocking, eventually the door is going to open for you.